Montego Bay, I want to stay. I tell you, not even that day. Montego Bay, nature, and the lack of man to take care of the environment. Nature washing away, even the blood stain in a St. James. Somebody must get washed, man. And you know, say even in the war, in the water, the man them still did that kill people, man. Even them see the rain a fall and I wash down the place. The man them still decide to never go and shoot up the place. But nature have a way for curve things, you know. Nature have a way for curve things. You know, when we did about 2 years ago when the big rain did come and cark up the gully, we did so was whole heap of condom. Them say them find how much condom in the gully there and other debris was stuck up the thing. I don't know what them are going to say now because if a condom they do it the other day, I wonder if we do it now. May I tell you, with the water where you come out of the gully there, unbelievable, man. I mean, car wash up on top of next car and all them. So watch all the car there. The car there look like a yacht. I mean, the yacht in the middle of the road, man. Unbelievable, man. Well, I don't know. The infrastructure of Jamaica, no easy. We still are living in the arse and buggy years. I don't realize we pass arse and buggy now, so we develop infrastructure like modern city. You know, we have to develop everything like a modern city. Anyway, so as we are saying, the Montego Bay is center stage again for a different reason. The reason is that last night was one of the most terrible flood ever lick Montego Bay. It's worse than the one before. But you know, the infrastructure, them as we are saying, need some serious looking pan. We say the Prime Minister is currently in Montego Bay. As usual, I do assessment. Them people love assess it, man. Them people love assess, believe you me. You could have do it all go down there in a brethren. And assess the damage, you know. Because we don't have to assess the damage by lots looking pan the computer. The amount of assessment where we done do already, we can get some information. So, you know, so the school them totally gone out and a whole heap of business on the main road, they locked down. Yeah, we hear so whole heap of business on the main road locked. I never see so much car as going like yacht. The car them look like yacht rotted. Believe you me. Me see a car sink, you know, and the people them say, come out of the car, broke the glass. I say, wait. No, Rasta. But you know, as soon as all the Prime Minister go down and listen to you now, you know, with him headphone in them ears, because all of them do it, and call them and say, I'm out here listen to them, say, oh, Mo, you're mad, me not listen to them, boy, man. That time I'm well listen. But here what I say now, there's a new phenomenon going on with the road them. And I don't know if anybody realize it. It passed manual now. What we are seeing now is the road them a collapse. I mean, I talk about the one on Washington Boulevard where take the headline the other day where it collapsed. This is not the only one. Because you must remember, you know, couple months ago, you know, the road, Wisconsin Spring Road, right in near Marketplace there. A woman they drop in a hole along there, so you know, and the road collapsed, you know. And it collapsed the other day again, you know. The road collapsed the other day again, you know. No, me I tell you, say, me I go home. When me I go home, me lose all truck, I go home, you know. Can't remember. I don't know if I'm home now or if I'm at work now. Which one are they? I'm home there and work me there, right? But I get schizophrenic, you know. All right. Now, right at the foot of Red Hills Road. Sorry, not the foot of Red Hills Road, the foot of the hill. When you come down Red Hills, if you turn up the road now, for go in Avondale. I was surprised because I had come to Patrick City and I come out now, come out at the foot. Everybody know who are listening to me know which way I talk about. Right at the foot of the gas station there. And then you turn, come on the road, and then you turn left now for going to Avondale. To my surprise, I see the road one block off, one lane. When I look, I see some big, what them call them thing that we dig out hole, bulldozer, I know bulldozer that. What them call them? Anyway, everybody know what I talk about. Everybody figure it out, you know. Yeah. I see some man a dig hole. So I say, brethren, this is where I go on and tell them say the road collapse. I say, you mean the road collapse? Them say a big hole in the road. So them have to make it one lane. You see the road? Let me tell you something. You see when you turn on the road, Rasta, the Prime Minister want him walk in a river in St. Mary there. He want to come walk in the water there. I say, I'm sorry for the people them who have the car low, you know. The road terrible, and guess what now? You drive, it is a one lane, you know, and you drive, you have to wait till a whole car come along, because you know somebody now again a pass. So you have to take your pass. You have to turn taxi driver, or coaster driver now. So everybody are bore and a troop, and anyway, I bore around and I go up the road, and enough traffic are coming along because you have to drive slow now, you know, because I kind of figure out the deep hole them now, you know. And the one them, you know, deep, you me figure it out now. You see the deep hole them, the water darker. Don't trust me. You see the hole them not so deep, the water look light, like you can almost see. But so when the hole deep, you can't see in there. It's dark. Anyway, everybody a drive slow, like 5 miles per hour you have to drive now, because apart from the water, you know, want the water splash, plus people are walking on the side of the road, and you have some man with stone in them and ready for you splash and to lick your car, you know. So you drive at 5 miles per hour. You say we reach at Avondale Drive, for go across now, for go back on the main road, so it's another 1 lane traffic. When we look again, it's another part of the road collapse. You have to turn up Avondale Drive, go on Bad Avenue for come out back on Mannings Hill Road up there, so. When you go, when you go round, a cassava piece, that? What them call it, so? Cassava piece, or I don't remember, anyway, right around a Canton Spring police station. There was always a little hole where you look on it, you know, in front of the school, you look on the hole, you know, and it depends on a corner and you have to wait. Sometimes you say, all right, make a chance and just go round the wall. Right? Before a car come round the corner. When we used to drive me at a car, you know, a Volvo, a man lick it round there, you know. Round that road there, so. Anyway, the road, the little, you know, so you could have even slowly go over it and not feel no way. Or you could have go around it. Brethren, a 1 lane traffic the whole is now. Because everybody when reach the whole them just stop. Because the other man them will come down from the other side, nah give no pass. So you have to just go over the whole slowly and tell you, it turn manual now, you know. You know, not even manual now, you know one of them hole where in the Jamaican dictionary we start with B. And that's how it then you know. A pair of them hole on the road, you know, the dictionary B hole. I don't understand Jamaican road, Rasta. I go try go down at the China embassy to see what happened to the hole with up on the China embassy road, you know, because that's how so must look different, you know. That are more than B hole. Yes, it's more than reach that level, you know. Them hole, they know, normal hole again in a Jamaica, Rasta. So I don't know where them are going to do. Because $1 billion that need, you know. They look how much money where them thief and go fix Bush Road. And that should have helped fix the road now, you know. And the $1 billion where them spend at St. Mary because they were running election. And that should have helped you know go fix the road. So I don't know where going to happen. Because the road them not easy. Long time we are talking about road in this program here. And now the road is the center of all news, I don't know. As a matter of fact, the road them take over the crime talk, you know. The room take up because the amount of shooting me I say, I'm not see nothing, none of my report. A whole heap of shooting that go on and mobile will not get reported, you know. I mean, I talk about people who are dead, you know. Shooting, all the other day when the rain fall, people get shot, you know. 2 people dead in the rain there, you know. You hardly hear about them something there. So I don't know. We need, why I don't know. Jamaica want to fix. Meanwhile, we see the Minister of Tourism on the television feeling quite fine, man. Oh, tourism has gone up how much percent, and them now going to have a big conference with about 1,000 delegates, and them going to deal with the AI, artificial intelligence, and work out certain things, and the money I make off of tourism. But when I see that come down and I check it down, you see the hotel? What the hotel name? real look like a swimming pool. No, real look like real look. I laugh, you know. I should laugh, you know, Rasta. No, you have to have a boat to go for the tourists them in a Rio to take them out of them room. Me I tell you, Brian, you see Rio? You know see Rio? Show him Rio. Show him Rio. You have to have a boat to take the people them out of them room. You understand? So me don't know. Maybe we have the wrong vehicle. Maybe we should have a speedboat rather than a jeep. Jeep car in Jamaica. Anyway, a news time. Click it.
Afternoon. I am Patrice Walters with the local and international headlines. Healthcare services across the island have been affected due to industrial action taken by nurses. The Nurses Association of Jamaica, AAJ, says some nurses have called in sick while others have just not turned up for work. The island's nurses are upset at the government's 6% wage offer, saying it is not in keeping with the present economic climate. President of the NAJ, Carmen Johnson, says about 50% of the nurses have not turned up for work at the University Hospital, the St. Anne's Regional and Mandeville Regional Hospitals. The NAJ met with Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton yesterday to discuss the wage increase and informed its membership of the outcome. A man was shot dead at a bar along Main Street, Discovery Bay, St. Anne last evening. He has been identified as 51-year-old Marlon McKnight. Police reported at about 6:50 p.m. Mr. McKnight was at a bar when an alleged gunman walked up and shot him. The gunman escaped. News overseas hopes that the 44 crew of a missing Argentine submarine might still be alive have been dashed after the Navy said an event consisted with an explosion had been detected. The abnormal, singular, short, violent, non-nuclear event was recorded in the South Atlantic by a nuclear test watchdog last week. Relatives of the missing crew reacted with grief and anger at the news. It follows a U.S. report of a loud noise in the same area. The ARA San Juan disappeared last Wednesday. More than a dozen countries, including the U.S., Russia, and the UK, have sent assistance. Finally, humanitarian groups are waiting to see if aid flights and shipments to rebel-held Yemen can resume after a Saudi-led coalition eased its blockade. UN humanitarian coordinator Jamie McGridlock said he hoped to receive clearance within hours. The coalition closed Yemen's borders 2 weeks ago after rebels fired a missile at the Saudi capital. But the UN warned the restrictions could trigger the largest famine the world has seen for many decades. Yemen is reliant on imports for more than 80% of its food, and it's faced the largest food security emergency in the world, even before the blockade was tightened. Those were the local and international headlines.
GSC got beat St. Andrew Technical.
We don't know about that. What, you're asking me a question or you're predicting something?
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
I was talking to my listeners. Wait.
No, because you're caught by...
Look how near the mic up on my mouth. It looked like I did talk to you, Bridget.
Are you St. Andrew Technical?
Yeah, I said GSC going to beat St. Andrew Technical.
Oh, you're living in a dream or what?
Yes, I'm living in a dream. The whole of we are living in a dream. I know about that fact. You look like you're a nightmare. Right. Why? I tell you, Jamaica, full of intrigue and excitement. You know, I mean, we are looking on the hotel. You see that thing I name social media? No escape again, you know. Eh? No, serious. You see the cat we are trying to have sex with the fowl? Eh? You never see it. You never see that yet. In life, you never see that yet, trust her. You see, when a cat stoop to that, you know say things out of hand, totally. No, you know say things gone terrible, Rasta. Eh? A cat and a fowl. You ever hear that in your life? Eh? No, me know say dog I try to jump cat, but I mean a cat a jump a fowl, Rasta. So what happened to the rat them? No, Rasta, the thing stay away. The thing really stay away. I could play some music, you know. I could play some music. Trust me, I could play some music. Oh, the Bible said the lion and the lamb shall lie together. But this cat can take it to the extreme, Rasta. Believe you me. Because you know say, crack knows that when the Bible says the lion and the lamb shall lie together. True, the lion is such a vicious creature and the lamb is such a calm creature. It means the two of them will come together. But this cat here, I misinterpret the Bible. The cat try to jump the cock. I tell you, a terrible thing. Terrible thing. Big news. Finally, the vibes are now is Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe seem to went through a bloodless coup, at least for now. Because I said the other day, you know, I mean, I went Monday or Tuesday, I said, I would like somebody to call me and tell me if they have ever heard of a coup like that, one that happened in Zimbabwe where no bloodshed. The army just come in and take over and just decide, say, okay, this is what is what and this is what is what, without a bloodshed. And the president resign and the people them feel good and them send back for the vice president. And that is it. I don't know what else going to happen, but it's amazing. I mean, considering it's Africa at that. You know what I mean? Like, Africa, coup, and nobody not dead. You know, it is a new thing in cooing. But really and truly, a whole heap of ones we hear, I said this and I said that, but the three man, them are friend, you know. The three man them, the military man, the vice president and Mugabe, them man they used to fight in the trenches during the apartheid era, a fight against the white people, them, the British. And they became big man of stature in Zimbabwe, where Mugabe become the president and him friend is the military man and him put him other friend as vice president. But there's a center the thing we only one now even talk about, and it's the wife. Now the wife, for some reason or another, Mugabe break a friendship. Because you know a man would prefer look out for him wife still than even friend them when they have long time. But apparently the friend them never feel say him should have give up that friendship, that consider and say the people them in a Zimbabwe not really like him wife. And him want to be the president because he said she can maintain where him would have really resign and leave. Well, apparently the soldier now go accept that. So them decide, say them go in, take over the country and tell him to resign. Him never want to resign, but them sit down with him and them talk friend to friend and them say, look, you know, it have to work that way or else. You know, I mean, we know some here a long time friend. You know, we do enough things during the apartheid era, but really and truly we can't afford for this woman come take over the country right now. You understand? So them rule against her and she have to leave the country. And Mugabe did already fire him vice president, setting the stage for him wife to come rule. And him run go to South Africa. Well, the military man realized, said, no, that not work. It's not working that way. We're going to sit down and reason about this thing or something I got where we're going to impeach you or something. But we're not going to make your wife rule this country. So what them do now? Them just set up a thing where, all right, we're going to resign. Mugabe said we're going to resign. And we're going to call back the vice president. Meanwhile, his wife left the country. Now the people them a cheer because really and truly him should have resigned. And him was going to resign. But who him want to put in a power is not what them like. So the people them is glad how the thing reached a level here. But I hear people still put Mugabe in a light because of these white media. We feed them news about African leaders, just like how them tell you about Gaddafi, just like them tell you about Idi Amin, just like how them tell you about Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Jomo Kenyatta, all of them. The only one that white people love is Nelson Mandela. And you see, the one who the white people them love, black people love him too. The one who the white people them eat, black people eat them too. You know, see something wrong with that. Mugabe is the only leader where right now we decide say him want to take back the land for the people them, and them put an embargo, them put a sanction upon him country, make it look like say it's because him wicked, why the people them not in a good economical situation. But we must remember, say them do that, the American and the British, them do that with everybody. Them do that with Castro for years, 40 odd years. Where people look on Castro like Castro a devil. Me grow up with say Castro a devil. And Castro maintain them things. And Castro country, that little island there, when named Cuba, have a better health system than big America. No illiteracy not there Cuba. Yes, he maintain that even though him couldn't trade outside him country, but he maintain it. And them try kill him must about 40 at time and try assassinate Castro. Yet till Castro survived that. We see them do it in Jamaica in the 70s. When everybody that talk about Michael Manley that go to Cuba now and socialism and communism go take over. We see America come in with them things. And we see poison flower about the plate. We see coconut start dead up. We see them hoard food in our supermarket. And everybody around go 5 flights a day to Miami. And America just do them things and then make Jamaica come back to how them want it to. We see them do it all over the world. We see them do it in Iraq. We see them do it with Osama bin Laden. When Osama bin Laden did a fight against Russia and them arm Osama bin Laden. And 10 years after, when the Russians them leave Afghanistan, and Osama bin Laden realized about them brother here, them American, them a support a country when him not like where him come from, which is Arabia, Arab them. Him start to turn against them just like Saddam. Them arm Saddam for fight against Iran. And then when him fight against Iran and don't know and him realize that certain things now go for them way now, them turn against Saddam and get him killed. Muammar Gaddafi. When we look at the thing, we have said, but wait, why is it that every time African people the African leaders, them start to look out for them country and the interests of them country, it turn around like that them is evil and them is painted evil. Because you talk to most Jamaican in the media, I mean I listen to them. Them have these things I tell you about Mugabe do this and Mugabe do that. Like look what America do all over the world. Look on the disease them. Look on the war them where them create. The Zionist state where England get rid of the Palestinian them land and put the Israeli them there. Most of the Israeli them are Russian. If you go, I would say that last night, if you go to Tel Aviv airport, most of the Jew them in at the airport are Russian them. But we see, it's like we want to defend Israel because a whole heap of Christians say Israel and the Bible and Israel is God promised people and everything they know. So them take up for the Israeli them rather than the Palestinians. And it's the Palestinians them feel it on the Gaza trip, they're the worst places of the world almost. It's another apartheid in Gaza. We not talk about Gaza where Vibes Cartel develop if anybody feels that we are Gaza, we are talking about the original Gaza in Palestine. Where white people come now, the British and the American come and declare certain things in the interest of them. America give the biggest aid to Israel because the Jew them control America in a whole heap of different way. The jewelry them and them going to South Africa and dig out the diamond and the mineral resources, just like how them going to the Congo. The Congo. From them time there. The main part of the cell phone, the main part of your television, the mineral where in it come from the Congo. When we talk about blood diamond out of Sierra Leone, how them going there and devastate the country and war, we talk about Rwanda, and people look on them war and feel so why black people just a killer black people. So there's a cause and a reason. There's something that caused this war. And it is caused by the Western world, Europe and America, going into people's country continuously. And then when them don't get what them want, them try to kill the leader. So them call All right, look at Mandela. Mandela, up to 10 years before him dead, was on the terrorist list, in America. He was a terrorist, was seen as a terrorist, But when Mandela started to row the boat with them take him off. But guess what? Winnie Mandela, a terrorist. Winnie Mandela can't go certain places in the world, especially in Canada, because them say she's a terrorist. Mugabe is the same thing. Mugabe, our people don't know, say Mugabe was sir. He was a sir, He was knighted by Britain, The amount of PhD and masters where him have, Nobody, our people don't know that, Yet still know. Because the man now decides, say, watch out, me now flow with America and England again, You see the white people, they will come thief with land. We're going to take back the land from them, because they will plant not food, but flowers. And flowers, they will plant, If you go carry go Europe and take back the land. Now here people say, boy, I'm take back the land, but him become this and him become that and them will listen to BBC, CNN, Fox channel, all of the channel them will support white people thing, and then now them view of all of the African leaders them. And if you show me one African leader in Africa right now, where the media don't vilify, except Nelson Mandela. A man send me a thing, A man send me a thing, and he must say, it's the weirdest thing about the difference between Nelson Mandela. I can see if I can find it. I'm saying the difference between Nelson Mandela. I have to find this clip here because it's a very important thing the brother say. Because really and truly, Nelson Mandela, the land is power. I will say it over. Most of the wars them that has been fought on earth is fought over land. People desire is to own land. And when white people go into your country, is land, them a search, them a land. The idea about the mountain them, when them want backside, it's land, because something is about the land. When them come at Jamaica first, when Columbus come here, it's the land, them want to go dig up to find gold. The Palestinian and the Jews them a fight over land. When America go into Iraq, it's land them go there to deal with, to control the land. So land is power. If you don't have any land, you don't have no power. When Europeans go to Africa, we have the land. Them come with them Bible and them come with them gun and teach you for prayer. And the story goes that when we close where I am prayer, when we open it, them have our land and we have the Bible. And the thing is that now, the land where them are tell we about, we have to wait till we're dead for go get that the piece of land there. Meanwhile, them have all the niceness and the beautiness long and so. It's a terrible thing. We're going to come forward to that, yes. This we want to come off of the Mugabe thing a while, because we have this interview line up here and we really want to talk about it. We have Dr. Natasha Mantlip on the line, lecturer in Institute of Gender and Development Studies, Regional Coordinating Office, research specialist, lead researcher on the study, Males, Community and Crime, published this year, which is a very interesting article that come out. We are talking about young men, scores of Jamaican men wanting a gun to prove their manliness. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay. Scores of Jamaican men wanting a gun to prove their manliness. How we come to that conclusion? Or is just a headline?
It's just a headline.
Okay. So it's not, there's no basis to that?
Well, I think it has to be put into context.
Okay.
So I guess the reporter did what she was supposed to do. She had a catchy headline, but we have to put the research into context. It was a pilot study that was done, first of all. And as you know, a pilot study is not intended to generalize the entire population. It's just to tease out the main themes which we will then interrogate further in a broader study that we plan to do. So where the guns issue comes in is in terms of looking at expressions of masculinities in Jamaica. One of the expressions has to do with respect, the need for respect. Jamaican men wanting and needing to be respected and to feel respected.
Yeah.
And the gun, money, and politics were three factors, three of the main themes that came out as being linked or symbols of man getting respect in Jamaica.
You said three is what? Gun, money, and politics?
Yes, three things came out in the study: money, guns, and politics.
So you mean Jamaican men who go into politics feel like their manliness is being served?
Well, it would appear that way based on what we're finding in the pilot study. Politics, I think politics is associated with status and power, and because of that, it is linked to male respect.
Okay. All right. So this study, what is, all right, when we find out all of these things, what it help to do?
What does it help to do? Well, one,
what it help to do? What is it, when you study these things, what it help to do?
Right. So the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, we have a Caribbean study on masculinities, men and masculinities. And before we embark on this broad regional study, we wanted to do a pilot to see, you know, how men feel about a masculinity study, and, you know, how do we define and conceptualize masculinity and manhood.
Yes.
You know, we wanted to tease out some of the main themes. So the pilot is really to see, you know, in terms of the methodology, what's the best methodology to use, how men feel about masculinity, so that we can now design the broader regional study. But also, I think we had a dissemination event last week, Wednesday, at the regional headquarters at the UE, and it definitely started a conversation.
Yeah.
Findings from the pilot started a conversation. People are now curious. People are now talking about how crime is linked to expressions of masculinities in Jamaica.
Well, yeah.
So I think it's important to have those studies, to disseminate the findings, to get people interested, funders as well, because now UNESCO and other people are interested in you know, giving money to do a broader study. We have interest now to do a study on masculinities and the media, and how different forms of media in Jamaica either facilitate different expressions of masculinities, you know, etc. So that's the intent.
All right, let me ask you something now. Maybe this is kind of off the wall, right? But I don't know if you hear that a lot of the gunmen them are bisexual. And if they are bisexual or homosexual, how would the masculinity fit into that as it relates to a gunman?
Well,
I don't know if you ever heard that before. If you ever heard that before.
It came up in the focus group.
Oh, it come up. All right.
It did come up, and how it came up is that I think some people express that Jamaican masculinity, there's a lot of contradiction and duality in Jamaican masculinity. So, you know, men say one thing but do something else. You know, people don't say what they do and they don't do what they say. And that came up a lot in the focus group discussions that we had, as well as the interviews, because we also did interviews with stakeholders.
So that is not a contradiction in itself, as related to masculinity and the gun. If a homosexual is a gunman, I mean, we don't know how much of them is, but how would that relate to, you know, empowering a male, making him more manly, make him more manly if him have the gun?
Well, that's it. What do we mean by being a male? You know, if you're a homosexual, in terms of your sexuality, okay, your sexuality, does that make you a male? Is it the way you dress? Because that came up as well, the contradiction in Jamaican men and how they dress. A lot of them dress with the tight pants and the earrings and
bleaching,
you know, the bleaching, you know, but still, you know, have claim that they're a man and, you know, they're nothing but a man. So that's it. We question now, because of these contradictions, we question, what do we mean by manhood and masculinity? Is it your sexuality? Is it how you dress?
Yeah.
Is it carrying a gun?
Yeah.
What is masculinity? And that is what we want to explore further.
All right, so you tell me what so far, what would be defined as masculinity or manliness?
Well, several things came up in the studies. We have both positive and negative aspects of masculinity. On the positive side, that being a man is about being a protector, being a provider, and there are many Jamaican men who play that role very well, as well as being an aggressor, you know, on the more negative side, being an aggressor. And when a man's environment or his space is threatened, that he goes automatically into an aggressive mode.
Yes.
So there are many different concepts coming out of masculinity, which is why we say masculinities and not masculinity.
Yes.
Because there are several expressions. It also came up that the Jamaican man is different from other Caribbean men.
Oh, yes?
You know, that Jamaican masculinity is different
For instance?
than... How is that?
Yeah, for instance, like what?
I don't think any specific differences were given, but just
say,
that...
if they say Jamaican man different from other Caribbean man, there must be something why them say that.
That the Jamaican man is unique and is different. And
so what make him unique from the other Caribbean men?
Well, I don't think any specific reason was given, but just in terms of behavior and how persons view masculinity in Jamaica versus other Caribbean countries. Also linked to women and how women view Jamaican masculinity. They see it as different from other Caribbean men. So that sort of thing came up.
Yeah. Jamaican, according to a study, I don't know if it's you to do the study, according to a study, studying dancehall music as it relates to masculinity and the feminine gender, where men is always boasting about them sexual power. Jamaican women don't believe that. They don't believe that Jamaican men have the power where they talk about in the music. Or did they do a study on that?
Jamaican women don't believe that men boast about their sexuality?
Yeah, that the boasting of Jamaican artists in the music about how powerful them is and this and this and that. It is not true when them get right down to the nitty-gritty of the thing in the bed. The woman them is saying, nothing don't go so. Them weak compared to some other man where them know like Carl from Germany.
Well, I'm sorry, we did not explore that detail in the study. We didn't look at sexuality and boastfulness in terms of sexuality. No, we did not look at that. But you're right. The boastfulness, it did come out in terms of crime.
Yes.
We found that one of the reasons why it's easy for men to get caught in terms of committing crimes or being involved in criminal activities because of the boastfulness.
Yes.
So men would tend to boast and brag about what they've done in terms of their criminal activities, and because of that, it's easier for them to get caught. So the study actually found that it's not a case where women are not committing crimes or not involved in crimes, but it's a case where Jamaican masculinity is so boastful that men boast and women are able to commit and operate out of the view, you know, out of the radar of the police or other crime-fighting agencies. Yeah.
Well, you know, we could have taken up the whole evening and talk about this because I really like to explore it, but the time is so short here upon this program, and we have to really come back. And I like when they reach a more in-depth study and conclusions. It's conclusions I really are search for. What is the conclusion? Right. I would like you really, I'd like call you back and we'll discuss the conclusions of these studies.
Okay. Sounds good, yes.
All right, thank you, Natasha.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me.
By the way, I know you?
I don't think so. I don't think we've met, no.
We never meet.
But I've seen you at, functions at UWI.
Oh, you see me at function? All right. Next time when you see me call me, I make a noise you are that talk to.
I will. I
All right.
will. Okay, thank you. Take care.
Give thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, that was Dr. Natasha Martley, lecturer in Institute of Gender and Development Studies, Regional Coordinating Office, research specialist, researching the power and the masculinity of Jamaican men and how them are going. And you know, say them not stay like how them go on, like all young yes or no. He's a decent fellow. You know, see it. But still water run deep. Pick it. We're going back to the Mugabe situation we that talk about. One of the main points I really want to make is this. If you look on the leaders them where we don't like, is the leaders them where the media vilify. And if you look on the leaders them where we like, is the leaders them where the media give you and say them one are nice. You understand? So when we look on like Mugabe now, who them declare a terrorist, even though him was not threat to America, but America say him is a threat. And we remember, and we're going to play a clip here, so we're going to play a clip about where I'm going to talk about why is it that them don't like Mugabe. We want the people them to listen carefully. Tell your boss, say, them have to listen to, drop all of them a do. But a virgin just sent me a clip right now and say, Mugabe left his people with land and resources. So at least, even if people say Mugabe never give over the whole of the land to the people them, we know say it's the people them, when Mugabe gone, him left a legacy that is the Zimbabweans them own Zimbabwe. So him say Mugabe left his people with land and resources. Mandela left us with quotes and poems. Serious thing that. Serious thing that. But guess who we are told to love? We are told to love Mandela. And then vilify Winnie Mandela. And if it wasn't, I tell you the honest truth, I don't know if the next one, because, you know, say, we always start out good because even the park, when you're Mandela Park, and we declare that Mandela Park, you know, believe me, ask Portia. Right? But when Mandela come out of prison, we block the whole half a tree and have a big thing going on in the park, when in the half a tree park, and we start to call it Mandela Park. But before Mandela come out of prison, the only reason why a whole heap of we didn't know about Mandela is through Winnie Mandela. Winnie Mandela make we get conscious that our husband, this and that. Yet still when him come out of prison, them design him for don't deal with her. That is really why now it become complicated. And then now we say, Nelson Mandela become almost like Jesus Christ to white people. Yes, it's very difficult if you talk something that you don't really check as it comes on to the struggle of black people, because really and truly, black people in South Africa don't own the land. The only thing that changes is the face of the politics. But the real power in South Africa still belongs to white people. In Zimbabwe, the real power belongs to the Mugabe and the people. Now them get rid of Mugabe, even if you never like Mugabe, but you know say the land don't belong to white people. You know, see today them send envoy down there, the British send envoy down there, because them are open now so them can reconstruct, get it out of the what you call it, the Mugabe mindset now, and bring it back to that them can now go there, because a whole heap of white people actually live in Zimbabwe, you know. As weird as it might sound, me go Zimbabwe and a British Airways can go down there. And they have a colony of white people living in Zimbabwe. So it's not like saying no white people are down there, you know. But it's just that now the man say, look here, the land must belong to the people. You understand? So we're going to go see what happens, but we want to play this. Without further ado, we want to play this.
For several years, I've been very interested in Zimbabwe because Robert Mugabe is pretty much the only African leader trying to totally dislodge white power in Africa. A little history lesson on Zimbabwe. White supremacy came to Zimbabwe starting with the genocidal lunatic Cecil Rhodes. The country was then renamed Rhodesia. As usual, white power attempting to erase a people by trying to rename them, since names link us to a specific time, place, and culture. About the only thing that remains of Cecil Rhodes today is the so-called Rhodes Scholarship. Many presidents and so-called white liberals have gotten it and are proud of it. The Zimbabwean people did to Cecil Rhodes what all Africans do. They fought him until they won. But, as so often happened, after the Europeans lost power, they may have lost the war, but they won the peace. In Uganda, the British installed Idi Amin to be their puppet and protect their interest, which he did, until he eventually became more willful than they were willing to allow. He tossed out the Asians and denounced the whites. They've claimed, with hardly any evidence, that he murdered thousands, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions. Of course, not a single word of this is true, but it's been repeated so often that people have bought into it. In Kenya, the Brits had no problem letting their hand-picked puppet, Daniel Moi, run things for over 20 years. And when the people eventually barred him from running again, he passed the torch, or rather the knife, to yet another white stooge, Mwai Kibaki. I don't think I have to tell you that South Africa's first black president was himself hand-picked by the very whites whom his so-called Truth Commission has arbitrarily decided to exempt from any and all prosecutions. Anyway, Robert Mugabe was a good little white boy for a while, doing as he was told, securing and protecting white interests. He killed anyone who threatened his rule, and the Brits had no problem with it. After all, he didn't touch the land they had stolen, nor was he interfering with their stealing Zimbabwe's minerals. They loved Mugabe back then. Ah, but they're singing a different song now. To hear the good white folks tell the story today, they sound like the police chief in the movie Casablanca, simply shocked to learn that Mugabe had committed ghastly acts of violence against people back when they were giving him praise and adulation.
The knighthood, Foreign Secretary, do you believe he should be stripped of his knighthood?
Well, I was horrified to find out that Robert Mugabe had a knighthood.
You didn't know?
I didn't know that he was Sir Robert Mugabe.
You became Foreign Secretary without knowing that?
Just on the knighthood, Douglas Hurd, you were Foreign Secretary when he was given the knighthood, I think.
I think not.
Or in the government when he was given the knighthood. 94? What were you in 94?
I was Foreign Secretary.
That was when he was given his knighthood.
Not by the. Well, I must plead total amnesia, not by me, and not, I think, by the British government. But I'm
who else can give him a knighthood except the British government?
I simply do not know the answer to that. But
what I was going to raise was that he was known when he got that knighthood, whoever gave it to him, the British government or, I can't think of any other government that could give it to him, it was known already by them that he had massacred 20,000 people in Matabeleland with North Korean trained armies in the 80s. Why was he ever given a knighthood?
He hosted a Commonwealth conference, and conceivably it might have been in recognition of that. The Queen went there. He was, I don't say in good standing, but he was a member of the Commonwealth alongside a lot of other people.
Of course you did. That's right. Robert Mugabe is actually Sir Robert Mugabe, a knight of the British Empire. So, if Mugabe was a loyal wannabe white boy, what changed? Under immense pressure from the African people, he eventually became dissatisfied with being the whites' lackey and decided to start taking back his people's land. This is where the British and the Americans declared war on him. The main cheerleaders against Mugabe has been the BBC, the British news outlet through whom the world has gotten its news about Zimbabwe for the last 30 years. They've accused him of everything but the Jewish Holocaust. Until Mugabe started reclaiming the land, that same BBC wrote nothing but glowing reports about him for over 25 years. But the instant he started taking back the land, they've had nothing but scorn. In order to make it clear how evil Mugabe is, the white media decided to manufacture a hero in their little drama. They chose the MDC, the so-called Movement for Democratic Change. The MDC was started in the late 1990s, back when Mugabe was still carrying water for the whites. The MDC didn't want whites out of power. They just wanted the money the whites had been giving to Mugabe to be given to them instead. The whites at first ignored the MDC, and the MDC couldn't get their candidate's elected dog catcher, They had no money and no media support. But when Mugabe started reclaiming the land for his people, all of a sudden the whites started pumping cash into the MDC like crazy. The BBC decided these guys would be presented to the world as heroes fighting against an evil dictator. Of course, they never tell anyone that the only thing the MDC is fighting for is for whites to keep the land they've stolen. No economic policy, no agricultural policy, no educational policies. The MDC's entire political platform can be summed up in 7 words. Don't touch the land the whites stole. Mugabe is called a racist, but the BBC never once has shown the world just who the men who run the MDC are. Men like Ian Kay, a domestic terrorist charged with numerous counts of inciting violence. And this guy is a member of the MDC and is now a Zimbabwean parliamentarian. In a country where whites are only 1% of the population, how is it possible that this guy can be a member of the parliament? Because he's one of the racist white thugs who was running the place during colonialism. He's used the money he stole to engineer a place for himself in the government of a country he shouldn't even be in. Idiots like Morgan Chirangi are only puppets. It's bastards like Kay who actually run the MDC. Chirangi does what they say. But back to the whites' PR war against Mugabe last year. Realizing they couldn't pull in Iraq and gin up a quickie excuse to invade because everyone would recognize it as recolonization, the whites in London decided to take out sanctions instead. And when that didn't work, they asked the US to do the same. The president at that time, W, gladly obliged. Pay attention, because what comes next is crucially important. The US's very first move was to freeze credit against Zimbabwe. I'm sure you've heard the term credit freeze the last 10 months. It's a credit freeze by the World Banks that has brought the US to its knees, destroyed the housing market, and caused a global economic catastrophe. I highlight that so you can understand how important credit is to a national economy, even the US's. The US still has working farms, working factories, and a service sector, but credit alone has caused nearly 10% unemployment in only a few months. This is what the Brits and Americans did to a country with nowhere near the financial resilience of the United States. This was when Zimbabwe's economic troubles started, not during the land reclamation. Neither the BBC nor any other part of the white media has told this story, but you're about to hear it now. They instead talk about Zimbabwe's economic woes, and they always talk about the whites being forced off the land they stole. Check it out for yourself. Whenever Zimbabwe is mentioned, without exception, the article or news broadcast will talk about supersonic inflation and then immediately talk about the poor, downtrodden whites who the mean old Mugabe is pushing off the land. This is done in order to create a false association in your mind between Zimbabwe's economic problems and whites being evicted from the land they stole, even though Zimbabwe's problems are not at all related to the land reclamation program, rather the freezing of credit, financial assistance, and assets carried out by the U.S. on the behalf of Britain. They also keep talking about the farms, like the whites are just Farmer Joe working to feed the Africans. Let's get one thing straight. The Africans were no better off food-wise before Mugabe started taking the land back. The main people who benefited from the white so-called farmers in Zimbabwe were the whites in South Africa. The Africans have never had full bellies off of whites owning the farmland. But that's the way propaganda works. They want you to think that reclaiming the land has caused massive starvation, when it hasn't. The sanctions have hurt Zimbabwe, not land reclamation. And the BBC is not a neutral observer in all this. They are a zealous advocate for the whites. As far as the BBC is concerned, hey, we stole that land fair and square. Now, how is it that they can get away with these lies? Because we, as black people, do not ask about it. This is why the white media will do interviews with the bootlicks in the MDC, but nobody thinks it strange that not one member of Mugabe's government has been interviewed. In fact, W took out sanctions against Mugabe more strident than anything he ever did against Iran or Iraq. Neither Mugabe nor any member of his government or anyone seeking to advocate on their behalf financially can enter the U.S. Think about that. Ahmadinejad went to Columbia University and gave a lecture, even though he took Americans hostage in the 1970s. Say, isn't he supposed to be on the no-fly list? The U.S. has removed sanctions against Libya and normalized relations with that country, even though Gaddafi was responsible for the deaths of Americans, the destruction of U.S. airplanes, and numerous acts of terror against the U.S., for which he has neither been punished nor so much as apologized. But Robert Mugabe, who has not committed an act of terror against the U.S., not supported anyone who has not even spoken in defense of anyone who has committed terror against the U.S., has sanctions put on him. So why is he on a terror watch list? Why can't he enter the United States? When Mugabe won the last election, the whites realized he was going to finally go ahead and toss them all out. That's why we saw the fake outrage from them last year. They tried to go to the African Union, figuring that because they had created the African Union and had most of its members on strings, that it would be a simple matter to get the poor Africans to denounce Mugabe. And after that, they would get the Africans to authorize the Brits to send in the Marines. Of course, it didn't happen that way. The AU rejected what was an obvious attempt at recolonization. So, the whites went running to the UN instead, figuring they would get their way there. But Mugabe had already shored up his political support on the UN through the alliances he built with China, who, as a permanent member of the UN Security Council, has veto power. And Russia also joined China in vetoing the Brits' plan to move forward with military action against Mugabe. The whites howled and screamed about it. How corrupt the UN is, because one vote is all it takes to derail the whites' well-laid plans. But those same whites have no problem when the US is the only Security Council member to vote against condemning Israel for its violence against the Palestinians, or when the US votes against a resolution condemning racism. Zimbabwe is a small, poor, weak country, but even so, Mugabe has outfought and outthought the Euro clowns every step of the way. It just goes to show, anyone who says you can't beat the whites at their own game never tried. This is why the white media can't get enough of hating the man. To them, he's like O.J. Simpson times 1,000,000. Every day they see him, they have to look at a black man who has shown the world that whites can be kicked around, punched around, beat around, thrown off the land they stole, forced to give back the money they robbed the world of, and that if the non-white world bands together, even the U.S. can't do a damn thing about it. It is the single most dangerous example of defiance toward white power that the modern world has ever seen. But most blacks don't even know that it happened. What happened to Africa under white rule was the same thing you see today. A relentless PR war to convince the world the Africans were primitive savages and they'd be better off with whites in charge. They can't force the issue, so they need to use the last bastion of white power, the media, to fool people into coming to that conclusion on their own. This is why they cannot allow Mugabe's people into the country, why no reporters will talk to him, and why they must demonize him day and night. Mugabe represents the greatest threat to white power the world has ever seen in the modern age. He's no Nelson Mandela, no stooge. He's a man, a black man, standing on his own 2 feet. No, I don't forgive the thousands of lives Mugabe took, but as it stands, he is fighting for the right thing now. I wouldn't build him any monuments, nor would I praise him. But it's not Mugabe I care about, it's Africa. So I support what he's doing, because it's way past time somebody had the guts to. This is why President Obama extended, yes, you heard me right, extended the sanctions W took out against Zimbabwe. That's right. Obama is carrying out the whites' orders. And he has no problem letting Zimbabwe's government leaders into the country just so long as they're leaders that the whites approve of. If the whites were really so concerned about electoral fraud and election-related violence in Africa, why haven't they said a word about Kenya? Because at the same time we saw whites working themselves into a lather because some white troublemakers said their votes didn't get counted, in Nairobi, the British-backed dictator was busy killing over 1,000 of his fellow Kenyans and displacing tens of thousands more. Just so you know, even the most outrageous death tolls Mugabe has been accused of in 2008 only came to 130 at most. And that's from the opposition party, who who I'm sure had no incentive to lie. All the world press talked about the real massacre going on in Kenya, the real barbarity taking place by the British hand-picked stooge in Nairobi. But for some reason, the BBC didn't hear a word about it. The British government didn't go to the African Union and demand that their hand-picked puppet Kibaki be denounced, and they sure as hell didn't go to the UN either. 2 disputed elections, claims of governmental violence in both cases, but one saw the death toll reach astronomical heights, while in the other case the casualties were negligible. Yet who did the whites choose to go after? See, it's never been about land or human rights. Since when have the Euro clowns ever cared about that anyway? It's always been about supporting and maintaining white power. Mugabe has shown the world that even the poorest of nations can overthrow white control if they have leaders committed to it. Every African on the planet needs to be watching this one. Mugabe, regardless of his faults, is showing us the way.
I can remember when there was slavery time.
You can really focus, another perspective. This is another perspective about the man them call Mugabe. We hear so much negative things about African leaders. People say black people can't govern themselves, black people can't rule themselves. You have some very serious corrupt politicians in Africa, just like how you have many corrupt politicians in Jamaica. In Jamaica, not no wrong until you get caught. That is how Jamaica stay, no wrong until you get caught. But the slave mill still a grind, and the slavery still exists. Some of us, if it's even in our mind, it still exists.
Mota.
Blessed.
How you doing, sir?
I do you.
Everything good, man. Everything good. Mr. Universe here, Mota.
To me ball out last night so long time, hear from your call today.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, when me hear your ball out, hear me now. Me have to call, me call Muta in the car. Hear Muta ball out. I love to, hear from you.
There's a long time I hear from you, man. I think
Muta,
you turn GLP.
What I said, Muta?
I think you turn GLP, that's why you don't call.
No, Muta. Muta, don't say that, Muta, man.
Okay.
Sure. But Muta, remember, say no in the Muta. I'm getting really busy because remember, I am a blogger in the Muta. I have so much work to do.
You're the greatest blogger in the world.
Yeah, but no, they say Jamaica, so I really don't say the word I know.
Okay, you're the greatest blogger in Jamaica.
Yeah, because Muta, majority of the stuff them that most be online now, I respond for because Muta, yes, Muta, because remember, Muta, you have to be an influential person and you have to have a platform. Yes. Once you had a platform, yes, you know how it go. People want to use you to do their promotion, and they got to pay you to do your promotion because you have a platform, you have a space that people listen to and people who read up. So when you have a platform in a Muta, it's very good because you can make money off your platform.
So how much man there on your blog? How much man on your blog? How much people there on your blog?
Muta, I have a lot of people. My fan page, Muta, my fan page consists of about 40,000 people. Yes, my fan page, that is Ted Mr. Universe Brown. That's my fan page. Then
but
when you go over,
you're tired, man, for blog.
Yeah, and again to Muta, I have 2 pages I respond for. I have Ted Brown, one with TED, and I have Ted with TEDD. 2D on that one.
What CED mean? What CED mean?
It mean TED. Yeah,
TED.
TEDD. TED.
TEDD. Where's that about DD?
I said TEDD. BROWN. Ted Brown. And I have Ted TEDBRWN. I have 10,000 people.
I tell you.
I have 10,000 people on the Facebook. So Muta. You know how it goes, and
you're large.
Yeah, man, and everything. So Muta, I listen to Muta, but I have to work because I have a lot of promotion to do and everything. Yeah. Muta, enough to up on the radio, and everything. Me a blog, same way, and I said this and I said that now. Because I remember I was blogging and somebody inbox me say you really need to blog because me hear Muta upon the angel. You understand? So I said, Chuck.
When me depend the angel.
You understand? You like your...
When me depend the angel.
No, you were saying something about the angel. No, Muta, come on, Muta.
When me did I say about the angel, that me ask you. When me say about the angel.
I never really heard if somebody saying something to me.
Me love the angel, you know.
Me. What is it, Muta?
Me love the angel. Me did have to beat her one time, though.
Me know, Muta, not drive me up. Me know where you are now. Muta, don't go there.
No, me tell you, me have to beat her one time. She tell you, say me beat her.
No, Muta, she never tell me. She never.
Yeah, man, me have to beat her, man.
Muta.
Me and her in prison and she try wind up on me. Me have to slap her up.
Nothing wrong if you wind up on you.
No, so.
Remember, say I be able to in a Muta. And she in a heel, so nothing wrong, Muta.
I'm prison with it there, though.
But I right place.
The right place in a prison for you wind up on me.
Couple up. Yeah, how you mean? Couple up.
No, you want me get mad in a prison?
So if you get mad, nothing wrong. If you're mad for radio, why you can't mad in a prison?
Whole prison rock dog.
But if you're mad for radio, Muta, why you can't mad?
Didn't it too? She don't know, man, where they there.
No, but it's a good thing at least you and the angel make a couple. You understand? That's
the
good.
Angel make couple.
Remember ackee and starfish is Jamaica national dish.
Yeah. My DJ name again.
Don't call their name. We don't want to call.
No, me go call him name, but just say me and
don't
DJ.
Don't call their name.
Eh?
Oh. Well, Muta, but you know the angel new song. No worries. You need to play it, Muta. It'll go on good with she and Spice. But me no worries. Gotta deal with everything.
No, you want to know. Listen to me now. I'm going to leave you though. But I know why you come here and talk about me and the angel make twin, you know. Because me don't want bounty killer come lick me with no hammer.
Jesus Christ, Muta, you
beat me gone. CN. Okay. All right. A long time I don't hear from him, but a year now him not call me, you know. But a year him not call me. But I true last night him tell me things and I read it and him feel say, yeah, it's always nice to hear him still. Him nice to hear him. Yes, EL.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you there? Yo. Oh, it gone. All right. I say, I'm going to play a tune, yeah. I'm going to play this tune, yeah. Serious thing, because we realize, I whole heap of the company we are coming out of the country, and people that talk about uptown people, that it is lie. I see them get up people, them who get money and go foreign, and send the gun, them come down here. Yeah, man. And then a big man. Them Chris gun we are coming out of Jamaica, get exported from America by the same ghetto man them who did their foreign, make some money and decide say boy them go furnish. Come on, say watch out now. Why you bring the latest gun for me? Like how man ask the clocks and this and that. No man ask the latest gun. Me hear youth at ball say them are safe to buy gun for them holiday. You can't believe that school youth, you know. I see if to buy gun. That's a serious thing. Why you look my brethren Juice, you know. Juice! Templar Juice, Temple Show. How you do? My little brethren from long time. I have brethren, even though you bleach your face still, but I have brethren. And I see you have progress in life, and we love that. So we will come support your thing tomorrow, you know. Yes, we will come up there. So all the people them in a Temple Show and Templar and all them places, they know say Juice things well nice tonight, tomorrow. You understand? Yes. I hear say, I'm going to have a clash too. Always, who's going to clash up there? But we like the community business, community spirit. Them things that's nice in the communities, them. And we since our brethren, and we have to support them. So we want Jews to know, say, we're not going to foreign next week, tomorrow. We're going there, a Temple Show. I support your vibes, your clash vibes and things. I'm going to bring on my computer too. Yes. Okay. Bad man, they are graveyard. We're there with you. Step in. Razor. The art of war. Yes, EL. EL?
Motor.
Yes, sir.
We are dealing with first time caller from New York.
What? Sorry for making it take so long, man, but you know how it go?
Yeah, every week me I call in and I try to get the man, but the line is busy, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so but they are the Brooklyn still. Now hear the reason why you make with Mugabe.
Yeah, wait, up the coal, tell me up the coal.
In the morning it's cold, but right now I like 40-something degrees, so it's not that bad.
Okay, I plan to make a move here, you know.
You have a show over here?
No.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Yes, as I say about the Mugabe reasoning, I agree with most of what you say, but one thing I hear you mention, how him treat him own people them.
How him treat him own people them?
Yeah, I mean, him help ruin the economy.
But you say, but you never, all right. Him ruin the economy, or is it sanction them ruin the economy because him take away the land from the white people them?
No, the sanction them have a part to do with it, you know. But
no part. The sanction is the main cause. The sanction is the main cause.
Yeah, but other country, Cuba have sanctions, other country have sanctions, and Wagwan has
Zimbabwe. No, there's a different thing I work with that's on our bridging. It's a different thing I work with. You see? You never have no white people in Cuba will get chased out. The sanction from Cuba is a total different thing from England, America, and all the European countries because you decide you're going to take away the land from some people who thief your land. They have a sanction on it that means you cannot buy or sell in the normal market. It's not the sanction, it's not the taking away of it. It's not because him take him cause it's not because him oppress the people them in him country while the country depend the law there. It's the effect of the sanction with them have on him country.
Yeah, I understand that, because I agree, say, him shouldn't take the land, but my thing is this, the way how him do it, him take the land, and him give him own people them. So I like say him distributed fair, that's the problem.
No, but all you know is him never distributed fair.
Him never distributed
No, me ask you, oh, you know, me never say him never distributed fair. Me say, me never say him distributed fair, no, me ask you, oh, you know him never distributed fair.
Because I'm reading news.
Oh, you read the news?
Where the people must say him give to him ZANU-PF supporters them.
Yes.
That was the problem.
Yeah. And them vote back for him.
Come on, Mota. We know all African things.
No, I don't know African things there. And tell me African things there. It's not a fair election. That's what I say. Him never get voted in democratically.
It's not a fair election. Look from years.
From the years them had the election. Wait no man. From the years when them had the election in Zimbabwe, none of them was a fair election.
I not say none of them was fair, but the recent one them never fair.
Like which one never fair?
When them they have the power sharing with a brother named Morgan Shanghai.
Yeah.
That year when them they try to the election and South Africa step in and say, you know what, that not right, you're not going to share power.
Yeah, because and then what happened?
Yeah, that year was one.
Basically, I can tell you what is happening with Mugabe and them people, them man. Them want everybody to be like Nelson Mandela. I bet you don't have nothing bad to say about Nelson Mandela.
Of course. Nelson Mandela.
Tell me something bad about Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela a stooge. He's a stooge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Mugabe is not a stooge. And because Mugabe is not a stooge, him pay the price. Him pay the price.
Yeah,
both propaganda-wise and economy-wise, him pay the price. Just like when name Mugabe, just like Gaddafi.
Yeah, him pay the price.
Just like Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Just like Idi Amin.
But the problem, how him redistribute the land, because you give land to people where no know nothing about farming. The land just, sit down, follow, nobody plant it or nothing. So that,
But, all right, you have to understand why the farming thing was working according to plan. Why wasn't it working according to plan?
Most of that, I just tell you.
No, but it's not him why it never work according to plan. But the people them want land, and you give them the land, and them not farm on the land. Where must though?
Yeah, but him give support to them. Him not give people who him give people who already have it. People in the party will have it. That's the problem.
Brethren, that is not true. That him only give people in the party will have it. Because if him do that from a long time, the whole of the country would have come get them would have a coup for a long time. You can't tell me to the people them so docile in a Zimbabwe that this man is such a serious tyrant. That them hold on him a 90 year old. That him resign now.
You know why that happened? You know why that happened? Because the army and the police did that back him and tell him why come in, you know, when him try make him wife take over from him, you know. Yeah. It's not have nothing about to do with those style. Look how much time the people them, you know, march them, demonstrate, you know.
Alright, you might take on it now in all of that now. You might take on it.
Yeah.
None of them leader there is perfection. But you see, if I had a choice between a government that defend the people them and defend him country nationalistic, just like how you hear Trump and defend him country, I go choose the person who will defend the country over the people them who thief the land from the people them. Understand?
100%.
So me know Mugabe, me know where I want could have say him do, just like any other African leader. Yet me no hear nobody say Obama is a tyrant. With all the children them in Afghanistan and Yemen were killed for drone strike. And all this, nobody now say Obama is a tyrant. You know
man, Obama wicked man, you know.
No, thousands of people dead in Iraq under Bush invasion. And Bush is one of the most, you know, see, anyway, we have to move though.
Alright then, respect.
We have to move, but we give thanks to the input still.
Yeah man, respect, course.
And you know when me, you know, the only thing me say about Mugabe, him for resign, and him resign, but him should have resigned already. It never did have to reach us.
Yeah, man.
It never did have to reach us. So him should have resigned from a longer time. You understand?
One quick thing before you go. One quick thing. How many years you talk about the Libya thing, the slavery thing?
The slavery thing.
You know, hear them sell black African slave a Libya man. Read up on it.
No, they're not going from them kill get Gaddafi man. When the black one, them, the brown skin one, them I use the other one, them as slave man.
No, but them do it openly, you know, like.
Yeah, me know, but when I say that is something where they go on from them kill Gaddafi.
Oh, okay.
That go on from them kill Gaddafi. Anyway, give thanks, yeah?
Right. Yeah, respect.
Yeah, you see the thing with that now in Jamaica. When me I say it's not a popular line with Jamaicans who follow the whole thing and say it's not a popular line to defend Mugabe and defend Gaddafi and defend Idi Amin. It's not a popular line in Jamaica, especially amongst people who claim politics. You know, see it. But we not care. We not care because we see where them do to the people them and our people when we talk about defend land. Every African leader to the Western world is tyrant. At least more expect the one them who them can control, the puppet them. And where you hear the man say, and it's true, when Mugabe did that toe the line and I do what him did that do, them did love him up and hug him up and give him all, sir. But from him realize, him going to take away the land now and take away the land from the white people them now. Him is no longer whatsoever, him is denounced as a terrorist. You understand? And it's that it go. If you check the history of America and England, check the history of America and England, the leaders them get denounced as tyrants and things when them now support the American regime. As a matter of fact, them try them best, very best, to get out them leader there. Them do it in Jamaica too. Pick it. Yeah, this is Stepping Razor, the art of war. Bev Davis, how you do? just call your name a while ago and the whole advertisement and you put them there still. But here what I say, I'm going to play a tune for you. Even though you put the whole on them there, I'm going to play a tune for you. You ready for it, babe? Cock your ears.
Stephen Marley, let them know what time it is.
We came here to party, we came here to dance. You know that you're my girl, they're mad at me, man. This night...
Make us stop it, believe you me, it's too fast. It's too fast. Bev, you listening? Okay, I know your tune this, you know. One time I play it, and that is it. I mean, I'll play it next week for you, so but call me and to play it again. Okay. But that thing then in Zimbabwe, you know, is that you might eventually hear one who did really make the thing now work. Yes, because you know you have some ministers in these government, like how you have Jamaica government now, where they call them on the people them. Because I did write down them name, you know, the contractor general. The contractor general implicate 5 ministers. 5 ministers in a cabinet for deal with the $800 million where them spend on the bush in them, where them use certain money where they must supposed to use. Him say 5 minister. Him not call them name. At least I know him call them name, but corruption there. And now we hear them a hold on Lisa Anna they know. Allegedly say some money business and give contract and all them things there. Well, you saw here in Zimbabwe how much people get old. Believe you me. So we are going to this all. So how much things with them did that do under the Mugabe regime there. Yes.
Under the pressures of your life and it tough. Just stay down, mama, time pick it up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, blessed.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, Muta?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm on the call before, you know, from going in your home last year.
Okay.
I made a car back there this time.
Oh, you mean about Joseph there?
Yeah, upper Century, yeah. Vineyard Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to call him Muta because right now it's like a week before last Thursday. You know, see, supervisor covered me with a list of paper say all smokers, they need a TV. They need a TV and they need a phone, right? And they search my area. They don't find nothing. I don't know them a look for.
Who searching?
Yeah, well, supervisor come and bring the two
so what am I looking for?
social worker.
Cigarette and herbs and them something there?
Huh?
Cigarette and herbs?
Yeah, I guess that's them I look for.
Okay.
You know, see, but you see what happened? Them come and them search and thing and they find out now. So they want my TV and want my phone. So I ask them, say, for what? Because I'm a smoker. So them go in and take all people who are smoke. Right? That them say them want to do. Some you run them. Because I'm telling them, they want my thing. They have to put me outside and call the police. Nah, say nothing. So them say, all right. Well, you know, you can't have no visitor. You can't have no visitor and you can't go outside.
You can't have no visitor?
No, you can't have no visitor, you can't go outside. The whole of people don't go out from eh?
Them have you under house arrest.
I got me want I know me alone. I know me alone. Our people them violate right now, right now, because to paralyze in a wheelchair. Come on. Disabled man, them keep them too bad in a no man. About time now this have to stop, man. You know, see? So them say what a supervision board tell them to do this. Yeah. You know, see? Tuesday my niece come visit me. You know, 2 years now she don't see me and she come visit me. And them stop her. Yeah. She couldn't come in. So she asked what? She asked what's the reason. All the security guard call supervision office. Nobody no want to pick up the phone, nobody no answer, nobody no come say nothing to her.
Is that concentration camp going, man?
So that means say right now some big violation right now.
We have to figure out something about it because I remember your call from last year.
Yeah, but this one is a different thing now. This
I have to go make some What them call it? Investigation.
Last I'm up. Must call like today. They must be want to come get me to the weekend. For watch me not and anything and the other man them there and can't go after.
Yeah. All right. Robert, check it out, yeah?
Yeah, man. Just what I really looking for. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. This, you know, can I say that tonight, this, you know, wants to give thanks for the moment. Give thanks to Shamara, Young, Neil, they everywhere. Operator, I call they everywhere. Give thanks to me hungry. You know, so one day about Monday again. Yeah. On Tuesday, easy skanking. Monday 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Tuesday 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So, we give thanks. Again, you know, we are going to this tune here.